Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be talking about quite a bit of wind that be going on pretty pretty much all over the United States over the next couple of days. We'll also be talking about what's actually now, I believe it's now a tropical storm. Not too long ago, it may still be a tropical depression. But tropical depression 31 or tropical storm Ida, I think that's how you pronounce that. But we're first going to take a look into the wind, which is going to be it's going to be very windy across a good chunk of the United States over the next couple of days. And it's something we really need to pay attention to, and it's something not a lot of people have been talking about here. And we'll start off with the rain radar here. Closer to the isobars, at the surface, the winds will be stronger. Now, if we take a look at wind gusts, you can see here, especially across southeastern Wyoming here, showing wind gusts up to 65 miles an hour. It's quite strong. But then when we look to the high-res NAM, showing greater than 70. And look at all these winds across the western United States here, especially in those higher elevations. Wind gusts probably widespread 40 and above across a good chunk of the Rockies here as well. So definitely something everybody's going to need to watch out for. And that'll be really Friday night into Saturday morning. But we're going to start moving to the east here. Let me zoom out a little bit here and take a look to the European model. So we're going to have a pretty decent trough going to be moving in. You can see here, there's going to be some pretty good northwest winds here across the western Rockies here. Wind gusts likely be approaching widespread, probably 50 to 55 miles an hour here. And speaking of those areas there, this is the forecast for winds. Now, when you get into uh, those brown colors, that's over 60 miles an hour. You can see here, a lot of people's under 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And if we zoom in across all those regions there, uh, we'll do central United States first. You can see there, they got some areas of 70 miles an hour or greater. And keep in mind, this is National Weather Service forecasts. We'll take a look to the northwest. You can see here, some of the same story here. Wind gusts over 70 miles an hour, 60 in a few areas, especially in those higher elevation areas there. But going back to models here, this is the European model. This is the NAM. You can see around Denver, in those mountains there, pretty strong winds. Now, when you get to these purple colors here, that's when the winds are pretty strong. Now, the green, the oranges, that's not bad. But when you get to those purple colors, yeah, that's some strong winds. Now, our focus could be moving a little bit eastward here. Around Springfield, 57-mile-an-hour winds. This is Saturday evening. Versus the European model, it's not as strong, but still some decent winds here. Here's actually the GFS, um, will show a wind gusts above 40 miles an hour threshold, and picking up some areas a little bit greater than that. But going back to the high-res NAM, let's go to 4 o'clock in the morning. And this front's going to be moving fast. Look at these winds here across portions of anywhere from central Tennessee up into Michigan. We got widespread wind gusts up to getting close to 60 miles an hour. The Euro's perspective is a little bit slower, but still showing a pretty similar thing here. And here's the GFS. It's a little bit of a different setup here. It's also a little bit progressive. But again, still showing winds up to 60 miles an hour in a few areas. Moving back to the NAM here, moving on 11 o'clock in the morning to Sunday, now some of your highest winds is going to be up across the northeast. Now there's some uncertainties with this region in particular, especially of how fast this system's going to be going here. You can see around that time it's only 45 miles an hour. But kind of going back to around Kentucky, we're starting to get wind gusts above 60 miles an hour threshold here. And that's one of a couple areas that could see wind gusts above 60 miles an hour. Here's the GFS model here. showing wind gusts around 60 miles an hour around New York state there. And this is getting to Sunday night here. The winds start to calm down. Here's the European model where it's a little bit slower. It's now starting to pick up wind gusts around Connecticut. Some areas getting closer to 70 miles an hour. You can see here, it's quite a big difference from the models here. But if we kind of go back to around the same time where that front's going to be there, it's much lower. And the high risk dam doesn't go that far out. So we're going to see what happens there. I bet the European model may be overdoing the winds a little bit across those regions there. But we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. Along that cold front, there will be some showers and a few thunderstorms as well. And those will be very gusty along that front. So definitely need to watch out for that. And kind of going back to the National Weather Service forecast here, we'll actually move to the Midwest here. Now, this is only for the next 24 hours, does not go through the entire event. We'll have a better idea tomorrow of what they're going to be showing, especially across, the Ohio Valley in the Midwest. You can see here for right now, they're forecasting winds really a little bit above 30 miles an hour. These numbers may increase some. Now, some of these models could be overdoing it a little bit. I think that's what most of the National Service officers are thinking. But there's a really good agreement of 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, and that's something we need to watch for. That's severe, severe thunderstorm threshold there. To within a thunderstorm, whatever. That's severe thunderstorm territory there. So it winds, that strong can do some damage out there, and also likely some power outages here and there. Now, we made the forecast for the eastern United States, not for western United States. Um, really, this is only going to be for valid, Saturday evening to Sunday evening there. I'm not really going to be too focused on the western United States for this event, just because, where some of the strongest winds is just going to be so isolated in a few regions. So, and versus the eastern United States here, where some of the strongest winds going to be, there's not a lot of high elevations there as much as the Western Rockies. So we're going to be focused on the eastern United States with this forecast here. Now I made it this morning here, so it's going to need some changes here and there. But the green colors, that's 30 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts. Not too bad there. Won't really do a lot of damage. But when you get to the yellow, that's going to be some strong winds. 40 to 50 miles an hour times for wind gusts. Now keep in mind this is max wind gusts here. And the only way for the forecast to verify it is, some of those mesonettes and reports out there. So, yeah. Now, most wind gusts won't get close to this, but the max wind gusts can get to this threshold here. So just to keep in mind that. But when we get to the red color, 50 to 60 miles an hour. You can see here it's over a widespread area here as well. And to the pink color, that's over 60 miles an hour. I may take that off. I may expand it. We're going to see what the model's going to trend towards there. But there could be the possibility for wind gusts above 60 miles an hour in a couple areas here. Really, anybody in the red there. I think the higher confidence for some of the strongest winds will be in the Ohio Valley region there, which kind of includes, Ohio to Kentucky, into West Virginia, into Pennsylvania, eventually up into New York State as well. That's kind of the Ohio Valley region. It even includes portions of Tennessee as well. So that's the winds that we're going to be talking about there. We're pretty much done with that. So let's move to the tropics here. So yeah, we actually do have a tropical storm here. Iota, I cannot really pronounce that. I'll figure that out soon. But we do have a tropical storm. Winds of 40 miles an hour. We also have theta that is going to be slowly dying down. They'll be continuing to move east, but eventually have a hard turn to the north there as well. But again, north right to the United States as well. So let's take a look to this tropical storm here, which they recently updated their outlook here. We do expect this to become a major hurricane. I have no doubt this will be becoming a major hurricane because the conditions are quite favorable, for rapid intensification, which we could see that with this system here. They do expect this to become a hurricane by 1 o'clock Sunday morning, then eventually a major hurricane by 1 o'clock Monday. But don't be too surprised here that the storm here may come stronger what they're predicting, which are predicting the max winds to be 120 miles an hour before landfall. So far, no threat to the United States, which is really good news because we don't really want another tropical system into the Gulf. That's something nobody really wants for right now. So on here it says Tropical Storm 31, but it's Iota, so it's named. Let's take a look at some hurricane models. We had back on the 12Z run, had a couple balls had a little bit of an overturn, but seems like the models are now kind of getting back to the trend. We're going to continue to the west. That's some really good news there for us, in the United States. However, it's not such good news for portions of Central America. They already got hit hard by Ada there that made landfall just right over here as a Category 4 hurricane. And this could be another catastrophic landfall for Central America, so that's very unfortunate. They had tons of rain as well. And they don't need any more rain. That's for certain. Here's the ensembles here again. Continuing on a westward move. It is widespread, but however, it's still continuing to the west. And this is the intensity guidance here. You can see here a good chunk of models do bring it into Category 3 threshold here. But again, I got a feeling it may reach low Category 4 strength because that's what we've been kind of seeing this hurricane season. A lot of rapidly intensifying hurricanes. Don't be surprised this one here really because of rapidly intensifying hurricane because the conditions are quite favorable. Ocean heat content, it's favorable for tropical systems. It's in the yellows. Not that strong, but it's still favorable for it to continually to intensify. Sea surface temperatures, it's still quite warm, about around probably as max as 28 degrees Celsius. That's still quite favorable, for tropical systems there as well. So, but the good news is with this system here, there's no threat to the United States at this point here, and hopefully the models do keep it continuing to the west here, and hopefully the system here will miss the United States. But anyways, guys, there's all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit the like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.